and welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm Tammie, and today I'm going to be discussing with you 5 ways to sell your art and clip art. And also, we're going to be talking about some outside of the box ideas on how you can use your art to create profits. So let's jump in. This is part of my series. These are short videos just to give you concepts and ideas so that you can run with them, and I'm going to end it with a challenge for you. So let's jump in. So let's start with this idea. Your art is the ingredient. We talked about this in the first video that we did in this series. The product is the finished use. One collection can become several sellable offers, and when you do that and you adapt your concepts and your art, it actually can help you build products faster, and they can appeal to a broader audience, and it also helps you not work quite so hard. So if you start with a concept and you are already anticipating what you're going to turn it into, that is going to help your workflow. So pretty art becomes profitable when it is turned into something useful, and that's what we're doing. Okay, so the first thing we can do, and probably the most obvious, and it's what I do and what a lot of you do, is sell it as digital clip art. Offer the art as PNG and JPEG files, include focal images, supporting elements, and small accents. It's great for other creators, crafters, and designers. This is the art itself sold as a resource, okay? That's the easy thing, so we already have a product. Okay, number 2, turn it into printables. We talked all about printables and templates in the previous video. If you haven't watched that one, please go and watch it. It's only about 16-17 minutes long, so it's not long. You create your ready-to-use products people can download and print. Think wall art, think gift tags, bookmarks, games, worksheets, or cards. Focus on usability, sizing, and print testing. A printable is a finished product, not just a pretty image. Okay, use it in editable templates. Again, we're just sort of kind of going over and revisiting this just very quickly until we can get into the rest of the video. So editable templates let the customer change names, dates, wording, photos, whatever you want to allow them to change. Great for invitations, signs, social posts, planners, and forms. Clear instructions and easy editing matter. Now, these concepts and these, what I would call basically branches, you take the art and then you can go templates, you can go printables, and then there are going to be bazillions of different concepts underneath these different branches, okay? Templates add flexibility while keeping your design style. Number 4, put it on physical products. Now, everyone's not going to want to do this, but this is definitely something that you can think about. Okay, we're getting into some new material here. So you can use the art on mugs, stickers, notebooks, towels, totes, and more. Yes, do you need to have equipment to do this? If you already have a really good printer, I use an Echo Tank. It's an 8550, so it's a larger format printer. They make smaller versions depending on what you're going to put it on or use it for. Note cards, things like that are paper-based, a regular printer can work. If you would like to explore putting things on, let's just say t-shirts or aprons or hand towels, making pillows, printing it onto the those pillow where you put the pillow insert in it, the little pillow cases that zip up, you can do those. What I would recommend is, if you would like to explore that before investing into a lot of expense and a lot of time, work on your designs, and then if you would like to swap over and be able to offer some actual physical products, maybe we're going to go into this, but there's some different ways to do it. You can go into print on demand. You can go that route with your art. I will warn you to look at actually what you're going to make, because a lot of times you are not going to make as much as if you touched the physical product and handled all that yourself. They take a huge chunk of the profits, and so you want to explore whether POD is actually what you'd want to do. But anyway, so you can use the art on mugs, stickers, notebooks, towels, totes, more. Match the design to the shape and purpose of the product. Mock-ups help customers picture the finished item, and not every image fits every product. design with purpose, knowing what you're going to turn it into. Okay, so having said that, this is the way I would do it. Okay, nowadays you can get something that's called direct to film. I think is what it is, DTF. Anyway, this is where you can get, instead of it being sublimation or whatever, you can literally get you can order these gang sheets, which means if you've got a design that, let's just say you want to create hand towels in a set of 12 that's going to represent, a different design around a certain style and everything, and you want to do 12, one for each month, or you want to do 4, one for each season, and you could go ahead and have them, you basically go through a provider, you send them your artwork, they will give you the gang sheets, and then you can take and put those onto whatever your object is that you want to do it. Now, I'm not sure about mugs and stuff like that, but for more soft goods, like if you wanted to do pillows, or you wanted to do it on a t-shirt or an apron or a tote bag or something like that, then this would, the DTF would, that would work for that. So research that and see if that might be a option for you. A lot of times you can get, if they're smaller images, like for instance, if you're going to do them and it's a design that you're going to put on a hand towel, it's not going to be very big. So you could get a lot of those images. You can mix and match them and make your design, feature lots of your images, and have a lot of variety, and still not have very much in that actual process. So you would just want to add the individual costs, like how much the amount that they're gonna, like I have a girl that'll do like a 12 by 12. I could still get several things out of that, and it's $3 or $4. You can a lot of times get so many feet of that, and it would be like $20 or $30. So look and see if you have a local person you could work with, because if you could establish a good relationship, then they may be able to work on a quicker turnaround for you, and you're helping a local person in your local town. So that's good. You can order them online. So I would check with locals first, because if you can establish a relationship, that helps someone in your community as well, which I think is very important. And if not, then you can order them, online. But if, like I said, you're helping someone else, if they can be close to the price or allow you to order smaller batches or whatever. But that is an option for, instead of buying all that equipment and still not having something that you can put on a lot of different things. Like for instance, sublimation, you have to have you can't do it like on cotton, and a lot of times these tea towels and stuff may be cotton, so you want to make sure that you can do that. But anyway, that is how I would approach that, inexpensively, and a way to see if that's the way you want to do it. You can work a lot faster. A lot of these gals and guys that do t-shirts, a lot of them are, they order their images on their things, and then they press them. They have their own little heat press, and they press them onto the objects. If it's really small, you probably can get by with a little small Cricut iron thing, or a regular iron. Obviously if you have a heat press, it's probably going to do a better job, but you may want to try it for a few things just to see if it's worth that investment of an actual heat press, or find a friend that has a heat press already, like maybe somebody that does has a Cricut and a heat press, and maybe they would let you borrow it to come and press several things at one time. So that's that tip. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so all right, so you can also create kits or collections. Bundle your art into more complete offer. Now, this is a creative thing, an option, and a way that you can do this. So, for instance, if you are selling a template, an invitation, you may want to attach coordinating other things that would go with the invitation and bundle it that way. I know that lots of people bundle cupcake, toppers, and they do favor tags and all that kind of stuff, and you absolutely could do that. You could take the time to set those up, but if you're like me and you really don't want to have to create all of those individual products, Maybe you just provide the art to go with the invitation so that they can build out their own signs, they can build out all their own things. If they want to buy a template to do a cupcake liner or whatever, they would have all the art that coordinates and goes along with it. So do an art pack, do a digital paper pack, because they may be able to use that as well. So think about the actual art parts. So basically combine your invitation with a clip art pack and put it together, and that's a creative bundle or collection. So combine clip art, papers, maybe a printable. Maybe you do an invitation, but you also do the sign, like a little sign that they can change stuff out. So any kind of little matching extras you want to put into that pack. Be creative, make yours a little different than everybody else's, and that's a different creative way to do a bundle or collection. A themed bundle often feels more valuable to that buyer, and definitely, like for instance, I have actually listed in my shop, I used a particular design, like a dinosaur, or let's say a fairy. I used a fairy on one of my invitations, and I had so many people ask me if I would just give them that isolated image so that they could put it on a t-shirt for their child. So that's another option. You could literally design a t-shirt that says, the birthday girl, and use the same matching art, and then go ahead and set that up for them. So all they have to do is print it out on one of those transfers you can get at Walmart, and then iron it onto a little t-shirt for their child. Or take that design and they could take it to one of the DTF printer places locally and have them put it on a DTF for them. Up to them how they use it, but you could include the t-shirt design, and that would also set you apart. Okay, so one collection, many products. For example, a woodland art set could become a clip art pack, printable cards or wall art, an editable invitation, matching gift tags or stickers. The art stays the same, but the uses change, and that's what's important to think about. So before you sell, check your licensing and usage terms. Make sure that it's worded in a way that people can do what they need to do to solve their problem. Organize and label your files clearly. Test your printables and review your formatting, and use mock-ups and clear descriptions. Your next step is to choose one art set and map out 5 ways to sell it. Now, we're going to be doing another video coming up on turning one collection into the multiple products, and in that I will be actually showing you how to take the one collection and turn it into multiple products. So that will be a design with me sort of thing, where you can put it up on the TV and you can follow me, and you can take one of your art sets and we can design together. And you can see how I would take and turn that into multiple different products. So that's going to be in another video. Be sure and subscribe so that you're notified when I do that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about something outside the box. We're going to take it offline. So your art can become local products and services very easily. Think beyond your digital downloads. Local buyers often need finished, easy-to-use designs. Online products can open the door to real-world customers. So products for families can be birthday party signs, games, tags, invitations, nursery prints, milestone cards, keepsake pages, personalized labels, gift tags, stickers, and cards. Moms often want the cute idea already pulled together for them. Dads too. Okay, products for businesses. Seasonal signs, menus, price list, flyers, thank you cards, gift certificates, and package inserts. Social media graphics, shelf tags, and event materials. Small businesses need design that helps them sell. You do need to price it affordably for them. But if you price it affordably, you can develop relationships that would in turn allow you some consistent bread and butter type business, because it's going to change for them. The seasons change, their sales change. Also, businesses would also be candidates for saving them a little bit of money by creating packets of digital, like a whole seasonal. Maybe they ask you to go ahead and plan out some flyers and some things for their entire 12 months, or 3 or 4 months at a time, like seasonal packages. And then they would do the work to print them out. You wouldn't have the cost of that. They would basically be buying a digital package from you. You would have to show them some examples, some physical examples of what they could do. And so there's also that potential way that you could make money that way. So small businesses need design that helps them sell what they're going to sell. Okay, local customers to think about: moms planning birthday parties, showers, and school events. Teachers, churches, clubs, and community groups, also homeschool moms. Small businesses, boutiques, salons, and gift shops. Start with people who already need pretty useful designs. Sell through local shops. So this is a way that you can actually take your products out and put them into the public eye by creating relationships with businesses already existing inside your town. So it would be really expensive to open a storefront for yourself for these items. However, you can try consignment shops, boutiques, florists, and gift shops. Offer printed cards, tags, stickers, art prints, and seasonal bundles. Create a small display that feels easy for the shop to test, and make it simple for the shop owner to say yes. So this would be a way that you create a some inventory for them on consignment, so that it's really easy for you and the shop owner. You get the benefit of not having to do the taxes and things, the sales tax and stuff, because they would run it through their shop. They would just pay you for whatever sales. You could go in weekly and change out things, or from your display. You could also go in and change out once a month, depending on how quickly things are selling. How to approach a shop: bring a few printed samples or clear mock-ups. Share a simple price sheet and suggested retail price. Offer a small seasonal test batch with easy terms. Lead with finished examples, not just the ideas. If you just come in and say, I can make this, and you don't have examples of it, then probably they're going to say no. It's much easier for them to say yes to items that they can physically touch. So, and the thing about it is, once you get your sample sets fixed up, so for instance, you're going to do, let's just say you wanted to do I've seen these before, they're zip code pillows that have the zip codes on them, and then whatever the town is known for. Obviously, you want to steer clear of anything that is a copyrighted image. But like a zip code, or maybe it's the shape of the state of Georgia with a little marker about where your town is. And these are some things that sometimes couples, like for baby showers, and not baby showers, but wedding showers, that you might want. But if you get these canvas pillow, they're basically like a pillowcase that you put one of the pillow inserts, like for decorative pillows, inside. You could make some whatever designs that you want to do, whether it's like for Christmas or fall or whatever. You make samples, demo samples, and that way you're not making a ton of product up. You're making just enough to get started and to be examples to go into these multiple shops, because every shop you go into may not want to establish that relationship with you. And I would also caution you, you probably have so many ideas that you could actually provide, if you had multiple shops that would accept a display or those products, you do a different combination of products with each one, so you don't have the same designs at the same small businesses inside your own community. However, if this meets a good response, then you actually could go into some of the outlying little areas and establish relationships with those gift shops as well. You want to try to work with people that are established and have good reputations, because you don't want them to like take and sell your product and not give you your money. You don't want to have to worry about that sort of issue. So we're not talking about huge amounts of product and inventory. We're thinking about being strategic with what we're offering and what we are providing. Now, once you show them the samples, you could also say, is my art. What do you think your customers, which of these art pieces would you like for me to present, to create for your shop? Because you know your client base better than I do. So do you think that a Highland cow, direction, or does it need to be more vintage looking, or does it need to be note cards? Does it need to be bookmarks? Does it need to be, wall art? What do you think would work best? So that is how you would do that. So let's try this local challenge. Choose one art collection, pick one local customer group, create 3 sample products or mock-ups, and make a list of 5 places that you could approach. Start tiny, test the response, and then you can build from there. I hope that this has been a very helpful video for you. I'm trying to keep these well under 30 minutes for the little short ones. Now, I will be doing one later, so be sure and subscribe so you get the notification for when I put the one out that goes with this series. That's going to be the, design with me, and we're actually going to get into Artistly. We're going to get into Canva, actually taking the images and putting them on some products, showing you some mock-ups of how they would look on the products, and then actually how you would create the product to then, work from. We'll talk a little bit more about the DTF situation, the direct to film, and how you can expand your reach, how you can take and remove yourself from the conversation about strictly AI art, because if you're going into these situations and your art is good, if it does not look like AI, then that's going to be less of the conversation and more about the actual physical product that you're going to be showing them. So this is definitely a way that you can use what you already have and expand your reach and your potential for profit. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and be sure and check out all my playbooks. You can check out the website, the links of that, my Artistly affiliate link, everything is in the description. And until next time, happy creating.